Welcome back, all, to Total War Warhammer 3. When last we left off, we had claimed the first Demon Soul. There's 3 more to go. The plan is the same as last time. Our Khorne army is going to keep pushing south, deeper into Empire territory, with the intention of taking over Marienburg. Chernobog needs a couple of turns to get his breath back, but he'll be catching up to them soon. In the meantime, we got the last of our 4 hero units, the Allures. The Allures makes a kind of bridge between a full spellcaster and a melee hero. They can do well enough in one-on-one battles, but not nearly as well as dedicated melee characters. The Duchess here has the Law of Shadows, an almost entirely debuff law. 1 buff, 2 damaging attacks, and 4 debuffs. Fun fact, the Penumbral Pendulum used to be pretty broken in the early days of the game. You could wipe out entire units with a single cast. But that's not what we'll be using her for. Instead, we'll be using her as a campaign map operative to soften up enemy armies ahead of time.
Taste our pleasure.
Fucking hell. Whew, boy. Okay, this one's going to be tricky. Ogres are hard enough as it is, but this army has some backup with Chaos units, including a fucking Hell Cannon. But the terrain is on my side today. By abusing the Nurgle Plague that gives our entire army Vanguard deployment, we can squeeze the army up against the side here to quickly take the hill and these choke points. See, for ogres to really work, they need to be cycle charging basically all the time. So, taking the hill means I can turn this into a nice big melee fest on my own terms. How's that for a valiant defeat? Chernobog is blazing his way south. Marienburg has enemies closing in on all sides, and I want to take the city before it gets taken by somebody else. But somehow, it's nearly turn 50, and Marienburg is holding on. Let's change that.
He is great and terrible.
Poor Empire. They really need some love. They haven't gotten any attention since the Hunter and the Beast DLC back in Total Warhammer 2. As much as this is a power trip with my forces just rampaging through theirs, it doesn't really feel like I've earned this victory, you know? But, deserved or not, Marienburg is ours. This is a big boon, because this is a money-generating city that's nice and out of the way. So, with a bit of investment, it'll be a big boost without really needing to defend it.
Yes.
I think the AI's having a bit of a brain moment here. Their entire army is just packed into this one choke point, occasionally sending out a unit or 2 to get eaten by my plague drones and wolves. While I plug away at them with magic, and they just kind of take it. It's a full 5 minutes before they even start moving, by which point my army is nice and braced up the hill, so I just eat them. and I'm not about to let the elves get complacent either. Say hello to my latest toy, the Blood Shrine. It's a monster truck with a lectern on the back made of knives and hatred. Not only does it look like something off of a Meatloaf album cover, but they can just lawnmower back and forth through enemy lines while buffing nearby friendly troops. Only problem is rather poor defense stat, which means it does get smacked around a lot. Hey, look what I can do if I just deploy all of my heavy infantry munchers right on top of your fragile skirmish archers.
Corpse mountain. Fury and joy.
Here's a fucking weird one. Because of how the game handles settlement battles, and the fact that the Wood Elves never built any defences at Laurelorn Forest, instead of a battle on an open field where they'd have room to manoeuvre and kite me around, we're on this big old thin strip. So I can just wedge all my boys in like a bunch of sardines, and... Rip Wood Elves, we hardly knew ye. Khorne is pleased with us, earning me an alliance with Skarbrand. Depending on how things play out, this could be very useful later. See, with Alliance, I can build something called an outpost, which gives my ally a bunch of benefits to their city, and allows me to buy units from that faction. But Soups, you may be saying, you can already get Khorne units. This is true, dear Strawman, to a point. I can get all of the Khorne Demon units, and my ability to recruit Chaos Warriors is what's limited. So, by building an outpost, and assuming Skarbrand can hold his shit together long enough, I'll eventually get things like Chaos Knights, Skull Crushers, and Chosen. If you thought my warriors could eat infantry alive, you've hardly seen anything yet. Next on our hit list are these Orcs and Skaven that have been hanging around on the peripheral for a while. It's not a big deal, just need to drive them out of Brokewalker and Gorsel so I can have full control of the Marienburg province. After that, I don't care what they do. The Orc roster is equal parts quantity and quality. They are all infantry all the time, but that infantry is made out of fucking beef. Even their archers, Arrow boys, can punch your head off. Do not underestimate.
I present you with mewling victims for the slaughter. Indulge yourselves.
Look at that. Whole unit of bloodletters lost, and my veteran warriors cut in half. But the gods care not from where the blood flows, theirs or ours, and that battle pushes us up to 3080 undivided glory, allowing us access to dedication. Dedicating to a specific god will allow us all sorts of fun goodies, like new armor sets and the really spicy big units. But I'ma keep it honest. There's basically no reason to not go for Undivided, apart from the passive benefits that the god-specific tracks give. You don't get access to the deeper faction mechanics, what we have is what we have. So Undivided is just better as far as I'm concerned.
The Dome of Fates feels a frisson of power in the air. The god bear will howl again, its pain ripping the fabric of reality, creating rifts once more.
Round 2 is almost upon us, and we are well equipped for it. With all this territory dedicated to Tzeentch, we can get ourselves a second army to hold the home front while Bossman's away.
I serve the Savior.
The Tome of Fates knows all. The rifts are our opportunity to reach the Chaos realms. Now, I truly earn my fee. And yet, a gateway opens both ways. While we may traverse the rifts to enter the realm of chaos, or even be transported to far-flung areas of this world, we must close the gateways not required, or the demon tide that flows forth will lay your lands in ruin.
Unholy screams of agony and exultation, which quickly grow into a jagged slash, an opening to penetrate Slaaneish's dark realm. Find the Dark Prince's palace at its heart.
The Dark Prince's realm. Temptation, lust, and gluttony are bound in this realm of desire. Confronting Slaaneish's champion will not be easy, for they are found within the 6 circles of seduction. As you journey inward, know that you will be lured by temptations beyond any your tepid imagination could conjure. In the center lies the Palace of Slaanesh, a monument to perpetual lust, excess, and debauchery.
I saw him, the ringsling of chaos.
This realm works a little differently from the others. We need to make it down to the lowest layer through these circles of seduction. Every time we pass through one of these doors, we'll be offered something to get us to fuck off. Here's hoping our resolve will hold. Back to the home front at the moment, our Khorne Herald is burning out the Skaven to the south. Skaven are a faction of extremes. Their infantry sucks so hard it's not even funny, but their ranged units are frightening. Normally what you do is you swamp the enemy in cheap bodies and then just shoot wildly into the flailing mass. This faction, however, has not been able to expand much, so they can't field anything particularly exciting, bringing only 2 rattling gun teams to this battle, but that is still 16 machine guns to worry about. Hey, did I mention I have bad micro? Ugh. Quantity has a quality all its own, do not forget that. Upside, though, the Khorne Herald has earned his Locust skill. This one puts 40 melee attack in a big area around it. We are going to be blenders that walk like people. Also, I make a bit of a mistake here. I don't know why I thought this, but I was convinced that this new Tzeentch army had way more units in it when I sent them to close the rifts. It's a win, but a very needlessly costly one. More importantly though, by hitting level 15, our Herald has attracted the interest of the Blood God, who sends us an exalted Bloodthirster to be the army's new leader. What even need be said about a creature called a Bloodthirster? It's a 20-foot tall demon that can rip shit up like nothing else. All it takes is one right click and that Herald of Tzeentch just goes away. Anyway, back to the exciting bit. The Circle of Avidity. To leave the circle is to cast off wealth beyond imagining. Gold and precious stones are freely offered while statues of jade are carved in your likeness. Take the fold. Such wealth will ensure a full treasury. The eggs are for demon birthlings. The statues are hollow and the gold is worthless to all but dwarfs. Pass through the gate and descend to the next circle. Oh, piss. The orcs came back a lot sooner than I thought they might. The new Bloodthirster will need to leg it back north as quick as possible to get rid of them.
Dark destiny awaits.
The Circle of Gluttony. Banquet tables stretch for leagues, covered in the finest sweetmeats. Armies march on their stomachs. There's more than enough food here that can be sent back across the Vale to feed your forces and keep your subjects happy. Also the demonic servants whisper. The hungry starve, as it has always been. Descend to the next circle. The Circle of Carnality. Wanton acts of depravity are everywhere you look. Buxom maidens and impossibly handsome men fornicate. Flesh quivers, organs mesh. The moans of ecstasy, won't you join us? Let them frolic with each other, for the palace is closer. Descend to the next circle. Taking a break from the dirty talk for a second, you remember our loyal Plaguerin? Well, he got his Locus skill too. The Locus of Fecundity. It's a huge AoE heal with unlimited uses. Now where were we? The Circle of Paramountcy. In this circle, armies congregate so deep they blacken the plains, all ready to serve you. Those who are more politically minded are Greek with vassals to rule and puppets to control. Which power will you sample? No! True power lies at the heart of the Dark Prince's realm. Descend to the next circle. The Circle of Vainglory. Here unseen voices whisper reminders of forgotten triumphs and a catalogue of achievements both great and small. Just take a few moments to remember. It will do your soul good. No. Never mind this self-congratulatory preening. Descend to the next circle. And one final chance to prepare, we turn Chernobog into a melee bruiser before the final act.
First peace, then
The Circle of Indolency. Pleasant waves lap at your feet. The sky is azure blue and the weather is warm. Rest upon the calm sands and take a draught from the ambrosial waters. Rest and feel refreshed. Descend to the palace.
The Palace of Slaanesh, where the Dark Prince's harem resides. A full-on incursion is not desired or warranted. We need only penetrate its outer defenses, and the courtesans shall reveal themselves. Begin at the Wall of Twisted Flesh. Disperse its defenders and capture the Statue of Perfection. This will give you a foothold and grant us supplies to reinforce for the struggle ahead. There are 2 other statues you will need to capture, and so dominate the battle. Slaanesh senses your desire to slay his chosen prince. Channel this to your own advantage, not his.
Now that I have full command of the sound deck, we can do this a bit more seriously. The order of operations is the same as last time. 3 barriers to cross with the Demon Prince waiting at the end. This fight is going to be both easier and harder than the Nurgle one. Easier because we have the stronger stand-up and fight infantry. Harder because they actually have cavalry. I don't. Hey, don't look at me like that. Chaos Knights are expensive. The first wave falls in short order, but I'm already feeling the sting of lacking my own cav. These chariots will not sit still, and I haven't got anything to chase them off with, so I've just got to sit there and wait for them to come back. Oh, my poor warriors, I'm sorry. Oh, it's fine, this is why we have insurance. They've all signed the waivers, it's fine. The first two captures go down easily enough, but the third one gets weird. See, these towers up here have shots all the way over this mound and down to the bottom of the waterfall, immediately drawing aggro before I can get down the hill. This causes the entire enemy army to go one way, and Handsome here to go the other, on their own, getting belted over and over by said towers. Then they go, unopposed but also unsupported, to take the point back, while being pelted over and over by said towers.
The courtesan appears. We must kill this demon prince and take their soul.
Brief side note, don't really understand why the courtesan here is wearing one whole item from the Slanesh set, the chest piece, so they end up looking more like a gremlin than the favoured of the Prince of Pleasure. But enough of that. Rattle 'em, boys!
Ursun is not dead. The bear still clings to life. Of course, God blood to break a curse.
Too long. I was imprisoned in shadow. Finally, my flesh returns. Flesh to tear, little demon. When I am free, you will know the wrath of a god. The bonds of the Forge are strong, and you grow weak. Our journey is not complete.
The Lord of Shadows is a shadow no more. With his curse broken, he can pursue his burning desire to enact revenge and dominate the world. Good. Another soul is ours, contained within the Tome of Fates. It would be much easier if we could collect the essence of any demon. But a true soul only comes from those with mortal origins. That is why we must slay demon princes, for their soul stuff, no matter how wretched, comes from a creature that was once mortal. So, to complete this great task, we must hunt down 2 more demonic princelings.